on Drury Lane.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. And oh, what a beautiful day. It's another weekend morning back in the kitchen on Drury Lane. And it's time to make the muffins. Well, today we're making special muffins. Special muffins for the Crossroads Center for Children. The Crossroads Center for Children? Well, that almost makes me want to make hot cross buns, like a crossroads. What do you do when you reach or come to a crossroads? It's a dilemma, right? Do you make a left or do you make a right? What do you do when you face challenges? Or when you're trying to help others face challenges as well? Well, Crossroads Center for Children is helping children and young adults, boys and girls, face challenges of all different kinds. Let's see how they're trying to face these challenges in the new year.
Hi, I'm Kelly Young. I'm the Executive Director at Crossroads.
And I'm Vicki Ramatar. I do resource development for the school.
If you didn't see the episode about Crossroads in the past, we are a school in Rotterdam, New York. We serve children with and without disabilities, preschool up through 12 years old, so we have some school-age students as well. And a lot of you, if you have heard about us, you probably associate us with autism, and that's really what our passion is. That's how we started the school, is serving children with autism spectrum needs. But there's more to the program than that. We've talked a little bit in the past about some of the other programs that we have. But specifically today, we'd like to show you a little bit of our daycare program. That program serves children in the community who have no special needs, who come, they're integrated into our preschool classrooms, so they provide models for our children with special needs while getting a great education at the same time.
And I want to add that the research out there shows that that is the model for both populations of children to learn and grow together, so that they're helping each other and they're learning throughout life to understand and recognize and accept differences amongst people, and to work together better. When they become adults, they don't have a problem with that, and our parents follow up with us that their kids are kind and generous, for years on end. So
we know
really
that
great motto.
We know that our kids are going to encounter children with special needs when they leave us and go into another setting. So we really are proud and excited to offer the opportunity for them to see these students the first time and understand unique needs and why every child is different. And then, like Vicki said, we often have parents who have left us, whose children have gone on, who have indicated that their child is really compassionate, and when they get to elementary school, for example, that they tend to be friends with the kids that nobody else is friends with. So that makes us really proud of the work that we do here. And we have lots of openings. So our children with special needs, that program is nearly full right now. We're midway through the school year, so we're about full in that respect. But we do have openings for our integrated students. So we'd love to have people come to our program, and we can show you what those classrooms look like. So I think it's important that kids at an early age are exposed to children with special needs. We have some kids that come in and maybe the children with autism are loud or do funny movements with their hands. And for children who are coming in who are 2 and 3 years old, that just becomes part of another child. That's just how that child responds. Where if they weren't exposed at such a young age, they might get into elementary school or even middle school where in the past those students were segregated. They were in a different hallway, or in the basement was their classroom, and they really didn't have a lot of exposure. But now, because we want kids to be integrated throughout their whole life, it's important that everyone see these students from the time they're just learning about other kids. These kids are no different than the next child sitting next to them. Everyone responds differently, everyone has different needs, kids make different sounds for different reasons, and it just becomes a part of life. It just becomes just another child in their class, and as opposed to seeing them as someone different or someone necessarily with special needs.
And they advocate for each other too. Like you can go into any of the preschool classrooms where they're integrated with typically developing peers, and it's hard to tell sometimes who's got an IEP, who doesn't have an IEP, who has what need, and that's cool. And the kids will advocate for each other. Like they will say, Joey needs a cup of juice, and then the teacher will say, well, let's get him to ask for it. And they learn how to be role models, they learn how to be leaders, and that's what is needed in our society overall, I think. So right now we're going to go down to our daycare setting where they have some different groups of a bigger class, and those kids are here. They come before school because a lot of our parents have to be at work early in the morning, so they can drop their kids off if they want that service, and then they are in there from 7 to 9 a.m. and then the children go to their respective classrooms, and then at the end of the day, if they have this service, then they can go back in the daycare setting and be part of that setting. So we're going to go down and see just a small group of a bigger group of kids. So you won't know if these kids have IEPs or don't have IEPs, but it's just a service that we have for our students before and after school that you would think of as possibly a daycare, but they are doing an art project or a snack or something fun and exciting, I'm sure. So let's go check them out.
This one on top?
No.
Alright.
I'm not sure. Do you want us to try?
Okay, cool. Put this one up.
Hey guys, what are you doing?
Wait.
You're playing.
What
What are you playing with?
We make like
I see a
castle.
I see a chicken.
A castle.
What is
But
that?
I want that wall.
It's a cow or is it
Put it
a?
up there.
I think it's maybe a horse, don't you? Or no? I think it's a
Oh,
cow.
we're gonna put like a flower on something. That's
A
how nice
horse.
is that?
What does a cow say? What does a horse say?
Nice. Oh.
What does a cowboy say? He doesn't say anything. He's a quiet cowboy. What about that
That
guy?
make me a new one now. A new castle. Oh, there we go. That one should fall. This one should fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is he holding?
There we go. Alright.
What is he holding in his hand?
Okay.
He's got something in his hand. What is that? An apple. Cool. Do you like apples, Ellie?
Yes, I like
Okay.
I do too. Do you like apples?
it.
You know, I don't think this
Are you
is
the quiet cowboy?
we're doing.
I don't
I think so. A little shy.
It's fine.
Hopefully this one doesn't fall this time.
Alright.
This one shouldn't fall. Hopefully this one might. Let's
Like, so nice.
Yes.
Almost fall.
Yeah, I don't like when it falls either, but you know what? Sometimes it's a little funny.
Hello.
Right? Sometimes it's funny when it falls, right?
It's okay. He's going for a little ride. He'll come back. He'll bring it back, right?
This one doesn't. I don't like this. I think this
What's
is
your favorite
I
color?
don't think this one's gonna fall either, but let's see.
Let's
Because we need to be a big
What's your
castle.
favorite
Because
color?
Nikki's a little tall, so. Look.
No!
Again?
So the student section that come into our daycare program, right now what you're seeing is our aftercare program. So we have some students that are here during the day, and then they stay after school because their parents perhaps are working and they need childcare after the day ends. So we have before and after care for preschool where children can come in within the day. Here they do lots of things. They do snack in the morning, in the afternoon. Sometimes if they come in early, they get breakfast here. Play, of course, reading, building, art. They do all kinds of activities in here. But during the middle of the day, when they're not in this room, in the daycare room, they go into respective preschool classrooms. So each of these students are in different classrooms during the day from 9 to 2:30. They're integrated in with our special needs students. And then they're in this room before and after school. And for those that nap, they come in for nap time in this room as well. So their day during 9 to 2:30 is a very structured day. That's where we do a lot of our academic teaching. We do healthy food groups where we're incorporating fun activities to try to get the students to eat healthy food. We do math, depending on the age level, writing, language arts. Then we of course do fun things like pretend and dress up and art and all of those things. And then what Nikki does here before and after school is to supplement the stuff that happens during the day. So right now we're about halfway through the school year. And as I said earlier, our programs, as far as our special needs students, are pretty full. We're just about maxed out in that respect. But one of the challenges is to provide enough integrated models for those kids. So we're always reaching out to families, encouraging them to come see our program for the nursery school program. So for those children who have no special needs and just need a language-rich environment, we encourage them to come see the school. That's always a challenge for us, is to fill up those classrooms. It's a challenge because we compare ourselves to other daycares. We have to compete against places like Head Start and Universal Pre-Ks that school districts offer. But I think if parents come and they see the program, they would recognize the benefits of having your child in an integrated classroom where there's good models on both ends and really a structured teaching program as well. So if our numbers are down in terms of daycare, then as a nonprofit, we always struggle with making sure financially we're stable. And we're happy to receive tuition from the state for our program students, but we always rely on fundraising and donations to support all the extra things that we do. So in a program like this, we have to make sure we have enough staffing to support not just donations that are approved by the state, but also enough to support the needs the kids have. So often we have to overstaff the classrooms, which of course then requires additional funding. But we feel that's important to provide the kids the level of support they need to be successful in an environment like this. So we fundraise and we use our donations to help support some of those programs and staffing needs that we have.
There's an order to make their names, and putting the biggest one, and then the next smallest, sequencing. Directions like putting the head on the body, putting the legs on, there's just like so many different directions that they can follow, each teacher organizes the activities so that they are working on the skills that they need to work on for their goals for the year.
We're in classroom 5 now, which is one of our preschool classrooms. It's our pre-K readiness room. So I think every student in this room is getting ready to transition to kindergarten next year, so that age group. So you can look around and see some of the art that the kids have done for winter or for the holiday seasons. Snowflakes hanging up from the ceiling here. They've made stockings with their names on them and cotton balls that are left to dry overnight. And then on the far wall, working on letters of the week, and E is obviously for Elf this week, so she's got those hanging up as well.
And they made this kindness chain too. Miss Erin said that every time somebody did a good deed that their parents wrote to her about, they would add a link. Look how long it is. Look at all their good deeds they've done. Isn't that cool?
A couple weeks ago we had Arctic animals as our theme. So we made some paper plate polar bears, practiced our letters by making a letter P penguin. We made some heart-shaped penguins to practice our shapes, some walruses that came out so beautiful. And then we made ourselves into Eskimos to just reinforce teaching that Eskimos live in the Arctic. So, yeah.
So we're going into the school age wing just to look at some of the art projects that they're doing for the holidays. But one of our new school age classrooms just opened in September, and then there's another one that's going to be ready to go very soon. So we'll go see the new classrooms and art. They started off with Hanukkah because that's the first holiday. And very simple. Tape masking off. They used painter's tape. The teachers prepped it, and then the kids either used a wide brush or a sponge to, cover up the paper. And then they got to tear off the tape later when it dried, and to make, ornaments that are representative of Hanukkah. At the same time, they did a chain. And then they chained it together to do Christmas, the Christmas tree, and then they did the Kwanzaa, and they kept adding on levels of complexity, like added colors and, working on, like, okay, let's get purple now, let's get blue now, let's get orange now, and making it more of a complex design. So they have the Christmas chain up there and the Kwanzaa, and it kind of for the kids who are seeing, like, there's so much hustle and bustle and chaos at this time of the year in most every family across America. So it's like, okay, when you say happy holidays, what does that mean? We're talking about, Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. There's probably other ones too, but I think they were trying to represent the holidays that their kids in their class might, come into contact with and celebrate. So I think they did such a great job. I love it. I got to watch them making this set, and it was just really cool. The kids were very, very engaged in it. I think they're beautiful. So this is this is our new school age classroom when we get in there.
You'll love it! You'll love a free muffin from the Muffin Man. And here's your chance to get one. A free muffin delivered to you directly in the mail for just showing today's charity that you care. No money or credit cards or purchases necessary. And here's your chance. Simply send a message of support to today's charity and receive a free muffin in return. Log on to themuffinmangives.org. Make today a giving day. Will you join the Muffin Man in giving to others? We look forward to giving a free muffin to you as a thank you.
I think the hardest part for me, and I hope I can speak for Vicki also, is that we both went into the field as special ed teachers. So we went in thinking that we were going to teach kids and have fun and play and educate the youth. And while we did that for many years, now our roles are different, and that I think is a challenge. It's a challenge for me that I don't get to see the kids as much as I would like to do. I have to worry about other things. I have to worry about, are we going to meet the budget needs of the program? Or do we have enough staff in the program? Vicki had mentioned time. Like, those are all things that when we went into the field, we weren't worried about those things. We were worried about just the kids and how to educate kids. So I think that's probably the most challenging part for me, is just taking my mind away from that. Well, I've always got in the back of my head, but I've got so many other things to think about throughout the day. That I don't ever want to lose sight of why we're here and why the school got started in the first place.
Yeah, I think time for me is like the biggest challenge of just trying to get everything accomplished that we need to do here as a school. We're trying to raise children to be adults and to love life and love learning and love reading and love colors, and like it all has to it takes so much love and caring from our staff. They are the most dedicated, the people that work here are the most dedicated people in the entire universe and beyond. And they're so patient with the kids, and you want people like that working with children that have disabilities and that don't have disabilities. You want these great people But in order to do that, we have to raise money. We have to raise, we have to have stuff for the kids to do. We have to have staff. So the time of like trying to outreach to people, let them know that we're even here, and getting that message across and trying to make it all work. It's like, to me, that's like the hardest part. It's like if there was just like 50,000 hours in a day, then it would all, probably come together well.
We were very fortunate to get state approval this year to open. We got approval for 2 new classrooms, and we did open the first one in September, the first of those 2. So we were fortunate to get that approval. Then it was a scramble to build the classrooms and build it so that we felt they were appropriate for what the kids needed, but still within our budget. And then also to staff it. That's been a hard part for us this year, is just getting enough staff. So as we continue to grow, we have more and more needs for teaching assistants and special ed teachers and speech pathologists, and just finding people that are dedicated to the field. Like Vicki said, it's not an easy job, and we have really hardworking staff here. So to get those people in the building and see what we do and want them to be a part of it, that has kind of been a continuous thing for us because we are continuing to grow. Come on in. This is room 13. This is one of the new classrooms that opened in September. This is a school-age classroom. It's young kids, so 5 and 6-year-olds, and it's a class. It's approved for 6. We have 5 students in there right now, so come on in.
Although it's the end of the day and they're not.
The kids have gone home for the day.
But the teacher's hard at work.
So even though there's only 5 students in the class, physically it's a big classroom, but that's because there's so many different activities that we need to teach. So we need to have space for each of them to do some individualized instruction where they're working with a teacher, one-on-one learning skills. We need to have a space where they can work on dressing and life skills. So we have a cubby area where they work on putting their coats and backpacks on, putting them on and taking them off in the morning. And then, of course, all the different play activities. So physically it's a big room, but we also have lots of children and adults. So like I said, there's 5 kids. Right now there's 3 staff. We have another staff joining us in January. So it's almost one-on-one, and that doesn't account for the children that receive OT, PT, speech services, where they might be in here as well. When we first started Crossroads in 1998, our program looked a little bit different then. It obviously was much smaller then. The way we did integration was different. So back then we worked with the YMCA that was housed in the same building. We both rented space, but separate space, and they allowed us to do some integration with them. So while the kids weren't in our classroom all day long, we had opportunities for our preschool students to go into that program, so they were around typically developing peers for those role models. They kind of started that with us until we got our feet wet and were able to generate our own integrated students. And then over time that has changed. So we've kind of gone a few different cycles, and integration has developed over the years where I think everyone now realizes the importance of integration. Many years ago it wasn't the case. Kids were often segregated if they had special needs and put in separate classrooms. But New York State and many other states put a real push on for integration of children with special needs. So we've morphed our program over time so that now every classroom in our preschool program has children with and without disabilities together. And that's a lot of kids. So that's 6 classrooms of 6 students in each room, as well as our pre-K room, which is double that size. So it's a lot of spots to fill. But our mission has remained the same. While it might technically, the wording might be different, it has always been to educate students with and without disabilities. Initially we focused exclusively on children with autism, and we've now expanded so that we serve a lot of different children. They don't have to have a diagnosis of autism to come to Crossroads. We have children with other special needs as well. And then really pushing that integrated program so that we're getting kids in as good role models who are benefiting from the instruction and academics that we provide, but also providing us with peer support that we need in the classrooms. We're so appreciative of donations and all the people that support the program. I remember specifically there was a little girl who was having a hard time speaking. and she needed a communication device so that she could communicate her wants and needs and people would understand what she was saying. And part of that is a program that you can get on an iPad where a child would push icons on the iPad and it communicates what she wants to say. This child was unsuccessful in getting that device purchased by her insurance company. And so she was kind of limited in what we were making books with picture icons on it, but really the technology was what she needed. It was a lot easier for her to manipulate an iPad, and it didn't stand out. It was typical child walking around with an iPad, didn't stand out as much. And we had an anonymous donor who heard about that and donated an iPad to that family, to that child, so that she could. And then she started talking like crazy. So that was really awesome, and it was totally out of the blue, unexpected for us, but it was one of those things where somebody heard about a need that we had. She was not affiliated with the program in any way, but knew that this child needed that device in order to communicate, and such a basic need of being able to communicate your wants and needs and how important that was. So that made a huge difference to the family and to that child. And then, like I said, she did eventually start verbalizing herself and talking.
Thank you so much to everybody out there in the community. We do, as Kelly mentioned, we get so much support from a very generous, loving community that cares about the school because they have seen the things that we are doing and they want to help. So we get, donations and volunteers and kids and staff because of all of the people that are out there that have beautiful hearts. And thank you also to SAC TV and the Muffin Man for helping us to get our message out. It's not that easy to do as a nonprofit to get our message out, so we really appreciate the help that we're getting and the support. So thank you so much.
We're excited for 2018, so we wish everyone a Happy New Year and hope for exciting things in the new year.
Well, welcome back. I'm still trying to bake the muffins. But finally, I think we're finished. I hope you enjoyed our show today. If you would like to make an order or donate muffins to charity, then please go to the website listed below. With every muffin order, we donate muffins to the charity of your choice. I call it giving your dough to charity. I also encourage you to donate directly to the featured charity today by going directly to our website and getting their information. Thank you very much for watching, and keep on dancing through life by giving to others through love. Let me finish baking these muffins, and see you next time.